Намерих го, да. Не, остави си ги. Шумолят. Еми, ако искаш ги затвори и изчакай да почнат. Добре, този ще го оставя тук и него. Как ги искаш? Първи, втори, трети. Ето го третия за там.
Искаш го брандирай него. Ако искаш, брандирай третия.
Къде си? Да, поставя.
Musíš vydržet.
Takže říkám něco do mikrofonu, krásné odpoledne, za chviličku začne živý streaming, zhruba na 50 minut spojení s Bulharskem přes Zoom a my tedy testujeme zvuk, jestli jde dost kvalitně. Oni jo? Aha. A jsou tam? Hello? Guys from Bulgaria, are you here? 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. Can we try the sound? Můžeš na mě, Honzo, nějak švenknout, ať na mě vidí? Vidí mě? Teďka mě asi nevidíš nějaký celek, ne? Můžeš tam Tome pustit mě, aby oni viděli mě na té obrazovce?
Hello.
Hello. Can you say something on the microphone, please?
Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. Hey, mic check. Test 1, 2. Hello.
Dobrý.
Hello from Sofia. Do you hear me well?
Yeah, we are hear you very well. What is the weather in the Sofia? There
Sorry?
is raining about 9 degrees.
It's 19 degrees and it's cloudy.
Yeah. It's better than in Czech Republic. Okay.
Okay.
Hey, Gordon. Nice to see you, Gordon. Where is?
Nice not to see you. I don't know. It's a voice of God, and I have no idea who's talking.
Yeah,
to
I'm
me.
Kush. Oh, that's, you know,
there.
yeah.
Okay, hi there.
Kush. Hi.
Hey, Martin.
Hey, Gordon. So nice. Let's go into different topics now. How about, how's your dog?
Which one? There's two now.
Oh, wow. So, see, life is processing.
Yeah, 2 English
The new
bulldogs.
process. Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. How are you?
It's good. Great, actually. And we have a really nice time. Just bad weather, as usual, that part. We just noticed one thing, that when you will ask our speakers, we have to constantly somehow turn to see the speakers because we don't have a monitor.
Okay,
here.
I've got a monitor in front of me, so I can see you without turning my head. Yeah.
Okay, cool. We will tell them to be chill with that. So they will most probably turn back to see the speakers.
Okay, I'm sure
take
we'll figure it out.
behind.
I'm gonna maybe put Katya in charge if anybody in your audience wants to ask a question, because obviously I won't be able to see them.
I'm gonna be here
Okay.
also. So yeah, we will be here all. It's quite an exciting experiment. So everyone
And
wants
I
to-
believe Darren isn't here. Yes.
no, he couldn't make it.
Okay.
He had some family tragedy, so he couldn't manage.
I'll just say that he couldn't make it because of a family emergency. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
Cool. See you soon.
See you soon. Okay. If we do run over, I shall say, oh, you have to leave us because we've got an urgent video meeting. Ah, good. Oh, good, thank you. Keeps me off the street. Yeah, very much so. Yeah, me too. When the magazines arrive out of the office, all you can smell is glue. You have to open the windows for 2 days. Yeah. Yeah, when I with a good idea. Presses run. I love watching the presses run. It's fascinating.
How did you, only talking about myself, how did you get into
I will just give the word over to Gordon Mason. Or,
Hel-
you're
Hello.
waiting still.
Hello, Brno. Can you hear me?
Hands up. Yeah, we do hear you perfectly.
Excellent. Hello, everyone. Let's just kick off into this. I am going to get my panelists to introduce themselves, tell us a little bit about what you do, all the things that you do that are involving music, because I know everybody has multiple hats on. Darren can't join us today, unfortunately. He's got a family emergency, so he's missing for anybody who was expecting to see him. Hello, Katya. We'll start with you, Katya. Tell us who you are, tell us what you do. And can I say as well, if anybody has a question to ask, both here in Sofia and in Brno, wait for a mic to come, otherwise the panelists won't hear what your question is. Katya, take it away.
So hi, Gordon. It's really nice to hear and see you, because we need to turn around a little bit to see you. So sometimes you will see our backs. So hi, everyone. My name is Katja, and I'm from Slovakia. And I also have multiple hats. I represent music expert, Lala Slag Music Expert Slovakia. I work for Showcase Festival Sharp, which is taking place in Bratislava, and the applications are now open until 17th of November, so don't miss the chance. And also I represent 7 bands from Slovakia, and I would say like 2 of them are middle-scaled already. So yeah, that's me. Hello.
Okay. Balázs, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Balázs. I'm from Budapest, Hungary. I'm a concert promoter doing club shows for a lot of acts from metal, dark wave, industrial, and etc. We have a festival, which is quite an experimental multi-genre festival in the mountains. It's called Fekete Zaj, which means black noise. I'm also managing a few bands with international focus, and I'm running a ticketing company called Tixa. Yeah, that's a lot of hats, I know. But
Yeah, when do you sleep?
Night. Okay. That shows.
David?
Hey, I'm David. I don't really know where to look, so I'll just keep trending. I've been working in nightlife all my adult life, pretty much as a doorman, promoter, programmer, night manager, production manager, graphic designer, DJ, live artist. That's it. So a lot of hats.
Okay, Login. Tell us all about yourself and what you do.
It's go online or not?
Yeah.
So I need to be serious. Okay, so I'm Login. I'm coming from one beautiful country named Macedonia, and we are around 2 million in this country, but we feel like a 60. We have the best music in the world. We have the best promoters, the best record labels, the best shops. So shortly, it's and yes, I am the best promoter there. Organize few festivals. The younger one is 15 edition. The older one is 26 edition. It's named Taxirat because Taxirat means bad destiny, and we on the Balkans want to show that the bad destiny can. Okay, that in a culture don't have so much bad destiny. The other one is the festival, and we organize one conference named PIN. So to remember me very easy, my name is Login, my company is Passport, and our conference is PIN.
And Dragan.
I'm not so successful as Login, I have to admit. There is only one Login. All right, my name is Dragan Ambruzic. I'm from Belgrade, Serbia. In the 80s, I started to write about American alternative rock music, and I wrote like a little encyclopedia about American alternative rock music in 1986 when it was only starting. So that's a picture of my ambition, I would say. The thing is that at that time we did have a lack of information in former Yugoslavia, so with my friends we started what was the first alternative rock magazine in former Yugoslavia in the 80s called Rita magazine. But very soon we discovered that nobody's booking bands that we love, so I started to book bands for Belgrade sometime in 1989 already, so that makes me a strange case on the market. Actually, I'm in the same time still an active music critic, and I'm still an active international promoter for like more than 30 years, 35 years, and so on, working in the region. My present position in the last 20 years, it's since 2005, I work in the Dom Omladine Beograda, that's Youth Culture Center, City Hall established multifunctional culture center in Belgrade with 3 different venues inside one venue. We also promote Belgrade Jazz Festival. And in the same time, I'm artistic director of the main stage of the Exit Festival since 2003. And I'm active, as you can see, 24 hours. I don't sleep unless my wife Zorica Kojic, who is present here, plugs my laptop out.
Okay, and I am Gordon Masson. I'm the editor of IQ magazine. For everybody in Sofia, there's some magazines behind the monitor if you want to take one if you don't know it. I would encourage you to read it if you have trouble sleeping. It's very, very good. This panel is going to kind of talk about the ugly side of music, which is the money. Where it goes and why not enough of it comes to you guys. Even that Logan's so successful, he needs a new helicopter. So the good old days, the promoter used to book a venue, they'd pay the band a fee, they'd sell tickets, and hopefully they'd make a profit. That's really evolved. Now we're talking about 95-5 splits, 97.5, 2.5 splits, and I've even heard of one band who got 104% of the ticket fee, which is very impressive. There was an article on the BBC recently. So this was for an arena tour, a $200 ticket. Of that, $125 went to the artist, which obviously had to cover all their costs, including agents and managers and all the security people, etc., etc. Next biggest payment went to the tax man, $33. The ticket fees were $22, meaning that the promoter was left $14, and the PRS, so the royalties, was $6. Now I know you're not all fortunate enough to work at arena level, but do those numbers make sense to anybody? Does anybody want to actually, Katya, you being a music manager, do you know where all the money goes? Does that make sense at a lower level than arena level?
Yeah, actually, it makes sense because we need to pay the royalties. We need to pay some fix for the club because they cover the security, maybe some technical stuff. Even though, like with a couple of my bands, we are bringing the own sound engineer, but they need to have staff there to provide the cables and just like to take care. So yeah, we also need to think about the additional costs when we are offering some band and their fee. But also, on the other hand, as an artist manager, I also need to think about our costs because we have the sound guy, we are renting the car, we are paying the gasoline. I don't know, the band needs to, do something with their instruments. They need to pay me as well because, yeah, I also need to be paid as a manager because I'm doing all this additional work. I always see okay, the band is not really product, but they had to buy the instruments. They spend thousands of hours in the rehearsing rooms. So when I was doing something else, they were just making music. So yeah, okay, they invested a lot, but also I invested quite a lot of time because it's not like I book a show and it's one email and that's it. Because sometimes I need to find the proper venue. I send the offer for, 25 venues, and maybe just 3 of them will work. So yeah, the managers also need to be paid. Just don't forget about it when you're pricing. Yeah, I don't know if I answer your question, basically.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely. Balázs, does that kind of the way that money was distributed from that $200 ticket, does that make sense in what you do?
Yeah, in Hungary, the state takes more because they take 27% as VAT. Then comes PRS, which is normally 9%, but it can be reduced to 5%. Yeah, so it's a lot. And also, if you pay your crew, there is also around 40% tax over their wages if you employ them legally.
Sorry, Katja.
Yeah, I will just add like, yeah, we don't have like really big crews with my bands. So usually it's just like the one technician. And I like, honestly, I say like, I'm taking like 15% of the fee. And if I do like more additional work as like booker and the manager, because I'm also taking care of the PR, I don't know, do some media, whatever stuff. So it's basically 20. So, and it's fine, I guess, because I do a work instead of some PR person who would take more percentage than just my 5+.
Yeah, and like I have a feeling right now that in case of a show, like in a medium or smaller level, sometimes the band members are the ones who are earning the least money. Like you have to pay the venue, the crew, transportation, PR, everything, and then which money goes to the members. And I really have a bad feeling when at the end of the show, I cannot pay at least so much money for the band members as the crew gets. And it keeps happening that we can't reach that number.
Is there enough margin being left for promoters? I mean, if I was starting out in the business, I would not be looking to be a promoter with the risk that you take and the money that you're getting back. What do you think of that, Balázs?
When bringing international shows to Budapest, the main problem is first at the VAT. Many agents just don't believe how high is the VAT in Hungary. And then, yeah, I'm taking a lot of risk because as an East European country, we have to, right now we have to provide the same ticket prices as in Germany or France. But people don't earn so much money, so I'm taking a risk. If we don't sell enough tickets, then I'm losing a lot. And when I'm earning money, when there's a profit, the profit share is usually quite low for the promoters, and so that's not a proper margin.
David, I'm going to turn to you and Dragan next. The one thing that BBC article didn't mention at all was the venues. What's it like being in the venue business at the moment? Are people squeezing and squeezing you? Is the promoter squeezing you because his margin's being squeezed? Are you having to be really careful with costs, or are you dealing with the same thing as everybody else's? Costs are going through the roof, so you have to charge more.
So like from my perspective, I mostly do parties. Like prices are going through the roof. You can really feel that people have less money, so there's less people coming to the events. There's less people, like they spend less on the bars. I think that it's like it still works. At the same time, like I had to really change my approach, because when I started doing this originally, I was really I really wanted to invite international guests like every single night. Basically, we would have like one headliner, 2 headliners per night. Obviously, the wages for international DJs are much higher than local artists. So at some point, it was really hard to just keep it going. So right now, I'm really focusing on just booking local acts, kind of nurturing the local scene, paying people a fair amount of money for their work, because I think it's ridiculous if you book someone and and a DJ basically gets like 10 times like if the fee is like 10 times of an average living wage basically in the country. So So, yeah.
Dragan, are you?
It's like, yeah, just like coming back to what you asked, like, I don't know, like, I've been doing this for a long time and I never really counted with like making any money. So like the promoter's cut, I think I never, there's always something, but I don't really, I'm usually the last person that gets paid, essentially.
Okay. Dragan, do you find the same thing with your venues? Is everything getting squeezed? Are people trying to bring the fees down? How does it work in Belgrade?
We are in a different position because we are a cultural center which is established by City Hall of Belgrade. So 50% of our events are produced by us and 50% are outsourced. People come, rent a place, do the show and so on and so on. But we try to keep the prices as affordable as possible because our role in the market is totally different. We are there to nurture the artists and to expose the new art coming from abroad, new talents, new fields of music to the Serbian market. So we are sort of pioneering culture center. We try to make ourselves sort of a window shop to this big, huge new world of music that is just right now happening. And Belgrade Jazz Festival is, for example, a good example because we chase only contemporary jazz. This is our production, and we try to present what are the key authors of the contemporary jazz to the Serbian market, and nobody else is doing it as a promoter, by the way. So we try to also, we're not really choosing, but we try to have a profile as a culture center to work with the people who are there for contemporary jazz, some traditional, also alternative rock, cutting-edge electronica, hip-hop, and so on and so on. So this makes us sort of a different player in the game. So we have a sort of distinctive artistic profile. Let's say we are bringing the new music to the Serbian market, and this is what we are chasing, artistic goal. Along the way, as I said, we try to keep in mind that artists is the core of this business. So we try to break the new artists, foreign or local, and we really, with local artists, we really work with them from the scratch. Sometimes because there are not enough managers, there are not enough record labels on the Serbian market, and I think this is a problem all over Balkans. Not enough people who can put their money behind the talents. So we try to sort of bridge that gap and fill that hole and be the home of the newcomers. Whoever wants to present us with their authentic new music, we try to help them. Just a small example, if I can give it. Over the summer, in front of Dom Omladine, which is in the very center of the city, we have a string of shows for free with people, with bands with no album yet released. If they have 45 minutes of their author's music, I mean their own music, we give them chance. So whole summer, citizens of Belgrade or whoever visits Belgrade in front of Dom Omladine can see the bands that they've never heard of, different genres. So that's I'm trying to explain you what is our role on the market. So we are non-profit culture center which is devoted to bringing the artists up to the level so that mainstream media can see them. That would be okay. So if somebody is renting, we try to keep the price as low as possible so that people can afford it, present themselves in the best possible manner, and make a profile of their own. So that would be our role.
Login, you've been successful since you were born. Is it getting tougher though? Is the business getting tougher? Is it harder to do what you do?
I will give example with one panel what we plan for our conference, what will happen in 2 months. So we bring one porno star on our conference. She's now one of the 100 best female DJs, and the topic of the panel will be which industry is harder. So I think that our industry become a little bit porno, let's say, because the artist who cost, for example, 1 million last year, today is 2 million, you know. So I don't know where is the end, but the things go crazy and will be harder and harder for the country as mine is. We are very rich, but we still cannot afford this kind of big artists. So our target needs to be, we can put many efforts as we want, but we cannot find that money. But our target will be to try to work more on small and middle-sized artists, what we can afford on the end. Good things on the Balkans is that yes, all the production costs are double, but still it's affordable for us. So we can still pay double security, but is 10 times less than Germany, let's say, you know. And it's good because we have still the cultural center as Dom Omladine is in Belgrade. We have the same situation in Skopje, that our, for example, young MKC or Young Cultural Center still keep the same conditions to give us a chance to do a business, to do a work, or promote many artists. So where this industry will going, it's going crazy, and I don't know where will be the end. But you know, I think now it's different than before. Before the record labels and managers and stuff like that dictate the offers and everything. I think now, coming from the artist side more, they are more and more hungry every day. So you know, when we announce one artist few weeks ago from Finland, the first comment on social media was, how much is a renting apartment now in Finland? Probably is much higher, you know, because the ticket price we need to increase. We need to ask for a double bigger price than before when we promote the same artist. So.
Okay, this is one for the artist managers. So again, Katja, I'll start with you. How difficult is it for a band that's starting out to actually tour and not make a massive financial loss? Is it possible at all? And then how, as somebody who's kind of guiding that career, how do you finance those kind of things?
Well, it's always finding compromises, and if the band wants to achieve something, they need to invest. The first is always investing, as I mentioned, with the instruments, etc., etc. But still, I'm trying to send my bands more abroad. So obviously, we can't ask for the same fee as we are asking in Slovakia or in Czech Republic. So basically, you need to do savings if you want to approach your goal, because yeah, you can't ask, like, I don't know, 1,500 euros for the first show in Budapest, let's say. So yeah, it's if all the tour and all the concerts abroad are on a zero, it's actually you won, because you are not in minus, and you experience something and you build some new audience, hopefully. So when you go play outside, you should go back there at least in a year or two, because then you're losing the gained audience. And also there are some mechanisms, financial mechanisms. You can ask for some donations, but it doesn't work like with everything. Like in Czech Republic, you have SAMC, they have nice programs which you can get some money for building your career abroad. We don't have the same in Slovakia because our music export is not financed by the state, by the government, but still you can ask for money for from the Slovak Arts Council. I don't know until when, because we're also, the government is changing things really fast. But yeah, this is also like a nice way how you can be a little bit spoiled in your building career. And coming back to your question, Gordon, like how it's with my bands, well, we are building this, like my band was playing this year in UK for the first time, because they were the first Slovak band playing at the Glastonbury. But fortunately, we got some donation, because even before the gig was confirmed, I just told the band, like, just apply, because you don't know if it will work. Well, we have money. If not, you can like return the money back to the system. But fortunately, they got the money and they're playing the Glastonbury. And of course, we did some additional tours because once they were traveling like 18 hours somewhere. We did a little tour. We had some like 4 or 5 additional shows, and of course they were underpaid. I will not lie you. Of course they played the show for, I don't know, £100, but they were playing in the super cool Shackwell Arm club, like one of the coolest in London. But yeah, they were underpaid. So of course, even if they wouldn't get any funding, they would be forced to find some sponsor, or they would need to do some cut out of their savings. But it's like this. And the thing is, like, they were quite successful in a scale of super unknown band playing psychedelic pop music influenced by Slavic influences, whatever. So we are coming back to UK next year again. We are going to the same clubs, hopefully, and hopefully they will be paid a little bit more. Actually, yesterday I had like quite interesting conversation about pricing the band, because there was a promoter and he asked like, what's the price of my band? And I said, he's like, oh, it's too much, I can give you just this. And I was like, okay, fine. I will not accept the offer, because basically we didn't plan to play in the city, in the club. And yeah, I experienced a little bit like of mocking, because we have some strategy, and I proclaim like, yeah, our strategy is not to play this region next year, but we are focusing more abroad, and etc., etc. So yeah, don't let people just like distribute strategies, because you are building them for some reason. You have some goals, and you can discuss, you can try to find compromises, but just like try to keep your strategies. And if you build a strategy, it's a good sign, because you are thinking more sustainable about the career. You are not just doing random shoots of the concerts just because you're gonna play every show they ask you. No, and it's also okay to say no to offers, because if they were gonna underpay you and you know you can be paid better, wait just for the next time. You can either grow meantime, or there's gonna be another promoter who will like willing to pay more because they know how it costs, and they just believe in you a little bit more. And it doesn't mean you need to ask for like millions of euros. Just like try to ask to cover your costs and try to be paid. But if you're like really emerging talent starting from the scratch, and you just had 2 shows and just all your family members came, so you thought like you are successful already, and so you tripled the price for the next show, it also doesn't work. But if you're a band which is like playing, I don't know, 7 years, you have nice audience, you have nice streaming numbers, you have decent and stable audience, so yeah, you can try to raise your price, but just like step by step, of course. And what I wanted to say, yeah, about playing the same city many times. I have another band, they're this middle-sized band, and they are getting so many offers to play in Prague. So like band playing Prague, quite successful band. But I'm just like, no, just play Prague once, maximum twice a year. And it doesn't mean you're losing money. You can just earn more at one big show than just like play 4 small shows and don't earn that much, but also you're building the audience in the way, like if you play too much in one city, they will not attend your concert because they know you will play there maybe in 2 months. So you are losing the exclusivity for your audience. So you can't really bet on those people that they really come and they really pay. I don't know, maybe I'm talking too much, but I have so many thoughts like just like coming there and. But okay, I'm passing word back to Gordon. Sorry.
Okay, no problem at all. It's we read and we hear that the big companies, the Live Nations, the AEGs, and the Eventums of this world are making more and more money every year. Are any of you experiencing the downside of that? Are any of you feeling that what those companies are doing and maybe what the strategies that they employ are harming your business when it comes to, I don't know, when it comes to booking acts for exit or anything like that?
We always try to build our own road, so to speak. So we try to pick up the artists that matter on our market, and more often than not, you are exposed to politics, business politics that doesn't have anything to do with your market.
Okay.
So that's our big problem all over the Balkans. We try to chase the names that we feel are working on our market, and we serve something different, and even under pressure of the agents to buy something that it doesn't really matter so much on our market, and then possibly we might get something that we will be looking for. That's a problem that we have for ages. One part of this is there are different cultural interests over here. For example, Nick Cave, Violent Femmes, Tuxedo Moon, and the Residents have been all really huge in former Yugoslavia and Greece and so on and so on. They could have toured every year, and we had the problems of communicating this with some of the British agents that were representing them at the time, like 20 years ago or 20, 30 years ago, and so on and so on. So they couldn't really figure out. They were trying to give us what is hot product of this year, to try to sell this and so on, because this is something that were seasonal stuff they were selling at that time. So we have a sort of a communication problem with the agents constantly, and I think this might be a question that we should be tackling over here. Sometimes when we have money and we want to buy something from the agents, be it Live Nation or somebody else, it seems that nobody is really listening to us. It's only now that it's changing, and people in London, the major agencies working in the European market, are considering that there are cultural differences and that we might be right. We know what we can sell on our market, and so on and so on. And it's only now that they're actually trying to listen to us. Now, when they learned that, for example, Dubai is a good place to sell the show and so on, and they have a different culture interest. When they discovered that India is opening up, when they discovered South America is opening up, Singapore and so on and so on, now they have time to listen to the Balkans and so on. We had that sort of culture misunderstanding for ages, and it's only now that we have been listening. So it's not only about Live Nation and so on and so on. I think pretty much everybody on the West didn't really understand what is our angle and what is our point, and now they do. For example, I'm not going to name any agents, but some of them are really becoming more sensitive to what we are sending them as a message, and they try to find us the artists or give us an opportunity to bring the artists that can really work, because it's in a mutual business interest and the interest of these artists and so on. Some artists have developed a huge fan base on the Balkans, and that, I don't know. For example, a newest example would be Yasmin Levy.
Okay.
Yasmin Levy, for some reason, is more and more successful. She's becoming a huge star all over the Balkans, and it's just recent development and so on and so on. This just shows you how, with working with an agent, even from the Live Nation, we can develop artists and the Balkan markets working together, and that would be my message.
Login?
Sorry for jumping in, but we just missed the name of the artist, because exactly when you mentioned the successful artist, just internet striked. So what was the name of the artist? Sorry.
Yasmin Levy.
Okay, thank you.
Login, do you feel any pressure from those corporate bodies that's harming your business or making your business more difficult?
No, at all, because Live Nation will never have balls to come in invest in Macedonia, because they are not crazy as us. So the only problem with this doesn't matter if it's Live Nation or William Morris or whatever. The only problem what we have in maybe last 10, 15 years, that these agents, managers, from my point of view, doesn't care anymore as before, like is Balkan in Dubai or in New Zealand, So every market is similar for them. They doesn't care. They are like a ChatGPT booker. So if they take 2 million From Dubai, they're asking the same price from Poland, for example. So this is the only my problem, and I will never change this because it is like it is. But I still miss the previous way of work. For example, when we do, I don't know, Iggy Pop, Kraftwerk, Manu Chao, blah blah blah. Most of these artists was so excited. Even the agents or managers in that period was so excited to play Sarajevo or to play Belgrade or to come in Skopje and to be on tour, to meet new people and stuff like that. This doesn't exist anymore. It's only one world. Means send me your best offer.
Okay. The good thing, I suppose, though, is that the big corporations can't do everything, which means there are opportunities for independent operators like everybody on the panel. However, do you think that if you have success with an act that you promote or you represent, do you think it's inevitable that if that act reaches a certain level of success, you're going to lose them to one of the big corporations? Balázs, you picked up your mic there. Thank you.
Yeah, it keeps happening. So it's a bad feeling because you put an effort and work and money into that artist, and it seems like a teamwork. You build up the production in your market, and then at the next tour you don't even have the chance to give an offer because the agent says, "Oh, we have a local partner," because the artist switched to a bigger agency. Then it keeps happening. So right now, as a promoter, I'm just trying to work with possible long-time partnerships with agents and a few bands, and I'm not over pressurizing myself with doing more and more shows because it's not the time for that. So yeah, and also like as I'm running a ticketing company, which is like more like a full-time job for many people in my team. So I learned a lot of business strategies which I'm trying to use at the promotion or the festival, or I'm also trying to teach it sometimes for the bands I'm managing, because we are all here, as you said, that we love independent music and we are independent, so we're gonna stay the same way in the next 10 or 20 years, I guess. But the world of music business keeps changing and it's dominated by big players. But I think there are still going to be people who are independent, who are interested in the independent scene. You have to focus on them and focus on your artist in them and find the ways how to use this changing market. Like from the artist point of view, you cannot force yourself into touring a lot, because if you are only attracting a few hundred people, then you're gonna earn less and less because of the high production costs. So then you have to think more about how to use other channels like fan clubs, memberships, donations, more merch. So use that part of the audience who are willing to do more for your act.
And are there ways that we can help each other when it comes to independence then? Are there networks? David, do you speak to venues in other countries to see what they're doing? What is the kind of independent network that's helping you stay successful and pay the bills?
In Hungary, I don't see a proper network for this, but there are some conferences, and of course we are speaking a lot. COVID helped us to share the problems and talk about how to cope with the new challenges. But it would be good if there would be more networks like Live Europe, because that seems to be a quite successful story. But only there is one member in it in every country. So we would need more and more networks like that, because that helps the artists and the venues as well.
Right. Okay. Login, do you speak to your kind of colleagues and peers abroad about what offers they're putting in for bands, if you can jump on board with that?
I don't have so much experience because COVID was the best thing what's happened in my life. So I was 2 years on break and enjoy my own mountain. And yes, but Youth Cultural Center in that period, the only good thing in COVID was that for first time all the promoters in Macedonia sit on one place. So that's never happened before, and for first time we share that have the similar problems, and we do some change on our market. At least they recognize like us, like the government recognize us like a event industry, what was not happened before, and because that we have now some kind of better taxes and stuff like that. So you want to add something or what?
You can add something if you want.
Yes, come on PIN conference from 28th to 30th of November.
And again, I'm thinking from the exit point of view. Are you able to turn to the Serbian government and say, look at this amazing event we put on. Look at how much money we're bringing in to the country. What are you doing to help us? Do those conversations exist?
Yeah, there is a help coming from the state sources,
okay.
Both from municipality of Novi Sad and Republic of Serbia. There is definitely help from coming to Exit Festival. It was an uphill struggle at the beginning, but it proved worthwhile because everybody recognized after a couple of years that Exit is actually promoting Serbia in the most positive way and bringing international crowds to Serbia, which never actually came, especially not for the cultural event. It was such a huge novelty act on the business market that beginning of the 2000s, it was the first, I would say, Eastern European product apart from Siget who was attracting multitude of audience coming from Great Britain. And 2006, 2007 were the years when it just broke on the British market.
Yeah.
And it was a huge success story. And I was even invited on international, Exit was invited and I was a speaker on the International Live Music Conference as the first speaker ever from Serbia for that reason. And then Serbian state picked up on that, and what we have is a support which is sort of cutting down the production costs of the festival so that we can have like a ticket prices which are affordable for the Serbian market. And this means that, I don't know, for like 100 euros you can get early bird tickets for 4 days.
Okay.
And I'm talking about programming which goes on 20 plus stages with different sorts of music inside of this beautiful fortress of Petrovaradin in Novi Sad, which is amazing site for the festival itself, and we use it to the maximum, bringing all sorts of music. So the Exit Festival is actually, the successful story of it is that we bringing the choice back to the music lovers. So they can, when they come to the festival, they can choose which sort of music they would love to experience. And for the young kids, who like Generation Z, it's essential.
Yeah.
They prefer their freedom more than anything else. So they would come to see techno, but they will check everything, have selfies everywhere. It's all about experience and making their own choices. And it's beautiful that it's still run by the young people, and it's made for the young people. And I believe that Serbian government is actually seeing this as working with the youth, so to speak, and bringing youth in the region together, because we still have like a lot of people coming from ex-Yugoslavia coming to the Exit Festival and so on, and feeling it as its own festival. And this is, I would say, what would be social role of the special social role that Exit has, bearing in mind split of Yugoslavia and everything that happened in the recent past. It was really a worthwhile effort. So it's more than a music festival, and this is why I would say everybody in the City Hall of Novi Sad, which have seen a lot of income from the festival anyway, and the Republic of Serbia government in the last 20 years understood that Exit has to be supported up to some point, of course. Otherwise, I wouldn't say we would be able to pull that, because Exit is bigger than Serbian market, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, okay. David, just thinking from the small venues point of view, is there any help from local government or bigger government for you, or are there any associations where the venues can get together and say, look, this is how much we kind of contribute to the nightlife economy, or is it a constant battle to try to stay open?
It is a constant battle. At the same time, I think it's developed over the past like 10 years maybe. Like specifically like the electronic music like sector. I think it's being viewed like more positively now on the government level. So there is more funding. There is more funding from the city. It's not great still, but I think people are starting to see that it actually does a lot for the cultural landscape of the country, like to have this sort of stuff happening. So it is getting better. It's like, I think a couple years back, you wouldn't be able to get like any funding for programming or like tech or anything. Now it's like you kind of like have to come with that money, so it's coming. But I don't think it's perceived on the same level as like, let's say, you know, theater or stuff. Like there's no tax exemptions. There's like you would have in Germany, for example, for nightclubs, some nightclubs, I guess. But it is getting better, and yeah, in this way, like I feel like this culture is getting more recognized, I guess.
Is your audience changing? Is your audience getting younger? Is your audience getting older? What's happening at that kind of club level?
I think there is a good ratio of young to older people. What I've seen like happening over the years, like people drop out eventually because like partying is hard, you know. But yeah, I think like the nice part for me is that when I started doing this thing and like booking like pretty niche electronic artists like a couple years back, you would mostly have like older people who would come specifically for the artist. And now it's transitioning into a lot of younger people coming, not really for the artist so much, but for the environment and for like this specific kind of experience that you provide, you know. It's like, I think it's moving from like, from a promoter's perspective, I don't really have to depend on booking a big name anymore so much and like spending all of this extra money on getting somebody from abroad. I can instead allocate the funds for local artists that, you know, like in the end, it used to be like without a big name, you wouldn't have any people coming, like no crowd, basically. Now it's, if you book a lineup of 3-4 local DJs and 1 international guest, in the end, like the locals pull more people to the event than the supposedly big DJ, you know. So yeah, I think I'm going in circles, basically.
Just staying on this though, is one thing we haven't really talked about is the fan and how much money they're being charged for tickets. Katya, I'll come to you again. I mean, what are the conversations with your artists about going on tour, having to cover your costs? Therefore, that means the ticket price has got to be X, and then them saying, well, our fans can't afford X, can it not be X minus Y? How difficult are those conversations and keeping those kind of realistic expectations for your artist? So you're getting 2 questions at once here, sorry.
So basically, we can really influence the ticket prices in the bigger cities because people are willing to pay more, fortunately. But we also depend on the local behavior of the audience. So there are actually quite big gaps in between playing a show in Bratislava and the price ticket and playing show in Humenne, which like really is part of Slovakia. So yeah, I will just give an example. The ticket for Tolstoy's in Bratislava is 15 euros and ticket in Humenne can be 7. Yeah, so because we also need to work with this information, like how actually people are buying the tickets. I experienced in the middle of Slovakia, in the city of Banská Bystrica, and I was trying to make a deal about the fee. And fortunately, I have to add there are a couple of clubs in Slovakia which are supported by Slovak Arts Council, so they can really pay a normal fee to the bands. And I know there are like a lot of door deals in Czech Republic. It's slightly starting also in Slovakia, but we are a little bit spoiled in Slovakia. Yeah, it's true, because the venues can really pay a proper fee. If you, of course, you plan it in advance, because they can ask for this donation just once a year. And now it's usually in autumn, so they need to plan the program a year ahead. So back to the pricing. So in the Banská Bystrica, we are dealing about the price, and he was like, okay, you're gonna be like one of the headliner show of the upcoming year, but you know, we can't really hire the price ticket, because they usually sell the tickets for 6 euros for the proper concert. They hired the price to 8, and like the people were just like, so much like complaining, like how can they increase the price so much? But you know, people just like complain about this, but they spend like 15 euros for 3 gin tonics on a bar, and they can't really value the music. And unfortunately, it's the trend right now. Like people better go to the bar and spend their whole night than just go to one drink, go to see a nice show, and then chat with the friends after the show. So yeah, the audience behavior is changing a little bit, and we just need to copy it. Did I answer your question?
Yes, you did. Thank you. Right, we're going to turn to the tricky bit, because we've only got a few minutes left. Can you tell me if there's anybody in the audience in Brno who has a question?
No one is.
Right, Sofia, this is your chance to shame the people in the Czech Republic. Is there anybody here with a question for any of our panelists? Great. Can we get a microphone to this gentleman? Just tell us who you are, where you're from, and then fire away with your question. Come on, Brno, you can do better than that.
Hello, everyone. My artist name is Grayson. My name is George. I'm from Bulgaria, and my question is about the very popular topic as well. I'm sure many people here are interested about that. The dynamic ticket pricing that's happening around the world. I would love to hear your thoughts about it and, yeah, discuss it a little bit. Thank you.
Okay, who wants to handle the thorny issue of dynamic pricing? Nobody. Anybody? Oh, there we go, Balash. Go for it.
Yeah, we already did some experiments with dynamic pricing at my ticketing company, and I think you can use it in a fair way, like if you set a maximum price, minimum price, and but right now I think that music industry is normally a bit against dynamic pricing, and I think dynamic pricing is much better fit for movies, theaters. So when there is a repeat of events, then you can see that you can sell your weekday screenings on a cheaper price, and then the popular weekend slots you can sell for higher. So that's the purpose of dynamic pricing. But selling concert tickets have a really different dynamics. So you know, people are excited at when you start the sales, and because they are fans and they want to be there, and if that moment pushes the ticket prices to the sky, then that's not fair. And then you should use your dynamic system better in a more fair way, and you don't have to be so much hungry.
Sorry, guys, can I just interrupt this? We have to quit this because of the following of the schedule. So thank you for this. Thank you to everyone who came here. And we just need to move to the other panel. So thanks for being with us. Thank you to the technical crew. And thanks to you for being here.
Thanks, Brno. See you later.
Applause from Bulgaria.
Come on.
I think in Sofia we can probably go for another 5 minutes though. You were going to say something about dynamic pricing.
Yes, about dynamic prices. I also have a ticket company in Skopje, and dynamic prices going like this. When the promoter will announce the show and see that have an interest, he give me a call and ask to put a little bit bigger price on the tickets. So this we have this analog dynamic ticket pricing, but usually it's coming from the management and Hungary representative of artists. So I don't think that Live Nation are different than Macedonians in this point or any other big companies.
My only observation about it is, and especially with the Oasis ticket price, everybody's complaining about that in the UK and the government are looking at it, but they're not looking at the hotels who have quadrupled their prices for the same dates. You know, if you want to go and see Oasis and you want to get a hotel nearby, you're talking thousands of pounds now, not just hundreds. So they should be looking at that as well, because that's another industry piggybacking on a great success.
Yeah, but hotels that have tradition with ages, you know, in our business, it's coming almost now, you know. So yes, it's not good for fans, but the main problem in our industry is that nobody don't care about fans anymore, you know. That's my opinion. So
and dynamic pricing never comes down for some reason. It's always up, isn't it? Any other questions? Yes. I hope this isn't a question for somebody in Brno, because they've gone. They're dead to me.
Yeah, it's about something they said in Brno, but I believe it's all around the Balkans, maybe even all around Europe and the whole music industry. I don't know. Anyway, my name is Christo. So what Katja, I think was her name, yeah, she mentioned that the prices of the same band or a concert or a DJ in a bigger city is bigger than in smaller towns, and that many people prefer to spend 15, 20, 30 euros on a bar drinking rather than paying for a ticket. So do you think that doing free concerts and free festivals and free events is actually helping this, so more people go to places and after that they want to pay, or is it hurting the whole environment because when you have it free then you don't want to pay anyway?
Oh, it depends. In some cases it can help to promote the artists and promote the fun of being on the music concert, because not everybody has a culture of going to the concerts. So sometimes it works. For example, on a New Year's Eve or pre-New Year's Eve, if municipality is doing something, this might be interesting from the point of view of the business, because then you have families getting out in a shopping zone, getting exposed to the some of the popular artists. You don't give them a chance to play like a full concert, like 2 hours, give them a chance to play 30 minutes or 45 minutes, and then it makes other people understand what music is all about. They discover the fun of it and so on and so on. But if it goes in the wrong direction, then you have like a really commercial artist who can sell the tickets being exposed for free, and then cutting his own possible sellout show in the future. On a small market, this can really affect the market and the artists if you're not really careful. So, but there is a chance to make a good balance with the smart business politics and so on and so on. And you have to talk to the municipalities. And as we said on one previous panel on this very conference a couple of days ago, this can really be a problem if it's the people, the same artists get saturated on the free shows. So you have to be very, very careful with this. No harm if it's done with an understanding of media presence. But if you go more frequently into free shows, it can really destroy the artist.
Unfortunately, Dragon has to run in a couple of minutes, but we've got time for one more question if anybody has one. Oh, yeah, we go. One last question down the front here. Just tell us who you are.
Thank you. My name is Petya Koleva. My question is picking up on the topic of audiences, because you mentioned there is less attention, but at the same time during the discussion there was a lot of focus on nurturing the local scene, the local talent, and of course often the public and the next local talent would be the same people, right? Those people who would be creating next musica first, the audience. So how would you relate this to the prices discussion? Because of course the young people can afford the least access to local talent, and besides the live venues, is there any other way that you find in your activities that you can communicate with those young people who maybe are curious and interested? Thank you.
Oh, so basically, how do you nurture young talent? I think I'm summarizing this. How do you nurture young talent and communicate to the youth, I'm guessing, about this young talent? Yeah. Yeah.
It's a basic question. How do you communicate the content that you're trying to sell to the audience? Okay, let me just give you one example. I was mentioning Belgrade Jazz Festival. Belgrade Jazz Festival is devoted to contemporary jazz. It started in 1971, it stopped in 1991 when we had the split of Yugoslavia. When I started to work on the Belgrade Jazz Festival, I was asked to do it in 2005. After a gap of 15 years, nobody was promoting in Belgrade any contemporary jazz. And we had like a big shoes to fill, because in Belgrade Jazz Festival in 71, we had like Miles Davis, Ornette Coleman, and so on and so on, really avant-garde stuff. So this is what we decided in 2005. First thing, to have any sort of jazz market in the future, we have to look for the young audience. So we simply decided it's our task to bring the new key authors of the 21st century jazz. And they all grew up with alternative rock music, hip hop, and electronic music. I'm speaking about Jason Moran, Vijay Iyer, Rudolf Mahantapa, Annette Cohen, Avishai Cohen, and so on, and so on, and so on. So we decided to bring the artists who grew up with the music of the 21st century, so to speak. That was the first decision. Second decision was to communicate. As soon as there were social media, we started to communicate through Instagram and Facebook. So kids understood it's something of their own sensibility, something that appeals to them, something that is actually somebody speaking their language. They didn't know what the jazz is all about, believe me, but they understood that there is a fun about it and there is something daring about it. So we also had this slogan, it's a daring music for daring people. So in each generation, we have at least 20% of the people who feel we are daring people. We want to test ourselves, to have some new life experiences. And also we made it affordable. For one ticket, you get 2 shows all the time. This attracted a lot of young audience, and instead of having like 60 and 70 years as an average age on the jazz concert in Belgrade, now on our festival we are 30 to 40. And this is how we communicated.
This is
We
the same
spoke their language.
strategy.
We found the programming that appeals to them, speaks to them.
Yeah.
We found a way to communicate, and we make it affordable. And then we suddenly have like at least 3,000 to 4,000 people buying tickets in Belgrade for the contemporary jazz, which I can see is a wonderful thing for the jazz festival.
Absolutely. But I was also asking you, because you mentioned there is less attention for the audience and more attention on the artist. Or have I misinterpreted your point?
You don't miss nothing, only I don't understand you. So can you...
Less attention on the audience and more attention on the artist.
Because you said it is important to raise the audience, to cultivate the taste or the interest, but this is becoming less of a priority today because of some business changes.
I'm not sure that I talk about this. I talk that we talk about this in a finance way, but okay. My conference is also 11 years in a row, and when we decide to do a showcase festivals and bring 50 artists what nobody knows, the only solution what to do it and how to bring it is to put at least 3 famous artists between these 50 and to open the doors for the people. 11 years later, we don't have a problem anymore to brand ourselves. I think that we build this interest and we build our audience who wants to come and listen and watch new artists. As you see, also the SOA Live opened the door, just these new artists or talent artists from the other countries to be discovered and find a new audience, and that's it. If I understand you wrong. If not, we will talk outside.
We've run out of time. So that was an interesting experiment, having 2 conferences on at one time. It reminded me of being in lockdown and doing all those Zoom calls. So I hope nobody's been triggered by that. Yeah, thank you for coming along today. Thank you for our friends at ReConnect for reconnecting with us. And to Ruth and everybody at SOA Live, congratulations, this has been brilliant. Thank you. If anybody was too shy to put their hand up, I'm sure we'll all be hanging around for a few minutes. Thanks for coming.
Everybody. Thanks.
Oh,